Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 485. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of May, 2020. Um, it's been a busy week. This is, I think, the third day we've tried to record, and my on-call just has not been cooperative. So hopefully we can get through it. So this is a knitting show
Yep.
when we remember to make it one. What are you working on?
I am working on a cowl. This is Undertone from Tin Can Knits. I'm going to do one more stitch so that I don't lose a stitch marker. And it is almost done. I'm knitting it out of some hand spun that I spun from a patchwork kit from Hello Yarn. So some leftover from my blanket. But it was like 300 yards of leftover. And then some Cormo someone gave me at SSK that's a worsted weight a couple years ago. It's nice and squishy. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the 14 repeats done.
Wow.
So I might make this one a little bit longer so I can use up the rest of this yarn and call it done. And I'm knitting that on size 6 needles, my Licka interchangeables, the driftwood. And yeah, it's a really simple project. There is always on it a period where I miss the garter.
I do that all the time.
And I discover it like 10 rows up, and then I'm like, nope, that's
Don't
just
care.
how it is. It'll get tucked under a jacket anyways. I could duplicate stitch over it, but I'm not even super worried about it. So this is a mosaic knit pattern, and it is really, really an easy, fun knit. I've been watching it. I can get 5 color repeats done with one episode of like Death in Paradise, which is a mystery show that you care nothing about.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
accurate.
on BritBox. So I made it through the first 3 seasons. I was going to talk about this in favorite things, but I knit I knit through the first 3 seasons this week, and I've just been enjoying that. I also knit some on my sock tube sock. So this was a tube that was cranked on our Speedster sock machine. And
Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster.
there you go. And I knit the toe on it.
And what yarn is this? This is a Vesper, right?
Yep, this is Vesper, so Knit Early Things in April Showers Bring May Flowers. And today on my Instagram Live, I cut one leg of a stitch and started an afterthought heel. And we talked a lot about afterthought heels. And then I will roll this down probably to this light purple part and reknit some ribbing. And then the first one will be done. So hopefully by the time I see you guys next week, I'll have gotten this first one done and we'll have started on the second. And then in other sock news, I finished the first sock on a plain sock.
Wow. Oh yeah, this is the one that you've been doing on your lives, like you did a class essentially.
Yep. So I did toes, and then we did heel increases, then turning the heel, then the bind off. And the bind off was this last week, and it's still available. Instagram changed their formatting a bit. So if you record a live, now it goes to Instagram TV, and it's saved for all time. So you don't have to just worry about getting it for 24 hours, and it actually posts that you have a new video to your grid, which is the square part at the bottom, versus in the stories. So yeah, first one's done. If you want to learn about how to do a stretchy modified Russian bind off, and also Judy's Magic Cast On to cast on the second one. I have no idea where I put that yarn. Oh, it's over here. My desk is kind of a mess right now because my last 2 Instagram lives have been from my desk. So I have the toe of the second started. So this is going to be prime stash dash right here.
So what yarn is that?
This is long dog yarn, and I'm knitting it on size 0 needles, and I can't tell you the colorway because I lost the tag. And it's just magic looped, and the pattern is Socks on a Plane, which has a cable These are my new Wild Stitcher blockers that, did I show you these last week where you can change the size? But wait, I can't remember what I talked to you about and what I just show people on my live. So this is the, there's the cable. So Wild Stitchers, who were going to be a vendor at SSK this year, created these blockers that you can change the size on. Hold on, let me fix it. And like size 1 corresponds, they have a piece of paper that tells you what size foot, like shoe size corresponds. But these ones have this nice little tab, this wooden tab that goes down on both sides. So it stays put.
So it's like the ones we gave out at SSK, but better.
Yep.
Well, there are some smart ladies. That's good.
They are. I'm super excited about them. So this is the medium size. I'd assume that they also have a large size, but this will go up to, I think it was a size, now I'm a liar and I don't know where I put the paper. I think it was like a size 13 man's foot. If you go all the way out.
Well, the large must be very large.
And down to a woman's 5, I think.
Wow.
So it does do a wide range of sizes, for sure. So that's something to think about. Those are Wild Stitchers. I'm going to go ahead and
how much are they?
I don't know, but I'll look while you're talking about your
Okay.
stuff because I think those are the only things that I have on the needles. Yep, I am still working. Well, I'm not working on the Ursa Minor. The first row of it is done. It's sitting just chilling for right now. But I will look up the sock blockers while you talk.
Okay.
About what you're knitting on. So what are you knitting on, friend?
So right now I'm working on a pair of tubes that Laura cranked for me. This is fishnets in the, it's a strong heart base, but it's, I think the colorway is Sidekick. I actually had to cut like an inch of it off because right near the end, and Laura had warned me about this, like a couple of stitches skipped and then like
oh
it
yeah.
got so like weirdly like late, like it was a little bit of a mess towards the end. So I tried to pull it out, but that wasn't working. So I ended up just cutting like an inch of it off, which is
Sorry
fine because
about that.
it's okay. I still have plenty for heels and toes.
You get what
So
you pay for when I crank stuff.
I mean, I can't complain. So I'm decreasing for toe number 1. This actually, as I'm knitting it, I'm using my typical needle size for a fingering weight sock is 2.25, which is a US size 1. But as I'm knitting it, this is a very beefy yarn. So I can understand why it might have skipped in the machine.
Yeah, it was not, especially, was there a darker color in it?
Well, there's like two
That
grays.
darker gray?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've discovered over time using the sock machine that sometimes the darker colors are the more saturated colors. It gets super grumpy about. Like, I just had that issue with a skein of Kirby Werby where I got half of it cranked, but then kind of like what happened with yours right
Yeah.
before, it just was like, peace out. I had 2 more rows to get done. I was mad.
So, yeah, I mean, the beefier ones can be kind of a pain on a 72 stitch cylinder machine. So
You can adjust the tension on the machine. I don't want people to think that you can't,
that's true.
but
But
it still gets really grumpy.
yeah, I am wary of adjusting anything because we got Amy to make it work perfect.
Yeah.
Like it cranks, we don't have any problems, like, or we don't have any problems that are the machine's fault. So I'm wary of touching any settings to change anything. So that's one thing I'm working on.
Can I talk about the sock blockers real
Yeah.
fast? All right, so they are $26 a set if you're getting the medium. If you are getting the large, it's $27. And they're made of birch plywood. The mediums go from a woman's size 5.5 up to a size 12. Or if you're doing men's shoe sizes, a 5.5 up to a 13. And the large go from a men's 8 up to 16, or a woman's 9 to 12. I would go larger than a 12. So if you were looking for women's shoes that were larger than a 12, it would obviously go higher. But I think that's the standard largest shoe size in the U.S. So
So
yeah,
this was a purchase Laura made. These were not provided to us or anything, but
they were
uh,
actually provided.
oh, were
Just
they? Okay.
one. Yeah, she I had sat down and talked to her and showed her the sock blockers that we had given out at SSK. So
Mm-hmm.
as a thank you, she sent me this one set.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
I know, I'm telling you now. But yeah, I thought they were cool.
Yeah,
So,
they are cool. I just like to be
and
transparent if
no,
somebody sends me something.
absolutely. So these ones, this one set was provided. Leslie's not cool enough to get her own.
I mean, it is what it is. But the link for that is in the show notes. Our show notes are always found on TheKnitGirlls.com with 3 L's. Um, so back to me.
As it should be.
I am knitting on Starboard Rock, which is a fingering weight pullover that's kind of a cross between Andrea Mowry's Weekender and Joji Locatelli's Boxy. It's kind of a combination of those two things. It's not by either of those designers. I can't remember who it's by. I want to say Versace knits, but I could be wrong. So this is knit bottom up to the armpits, and then you split and you do the front and the back, and then you join them at the shoulders, and then you knit sleeves down. So I got to the arm divide. I was a couple of inches away from it last week. There's no like neat way to show this because I've got ends going everywhere, and
Because you're alternating skeins on it,
I
correct?
am. I'm alternating skeins every other row, uh, every 2 rows. And okay, so that's where I was last week. That white stitch marker. So this is, I've split for the front and back. They're identical at this point. And I've got maybe inch and a half. I have to get to 2.5 inches and then I start doing some short rows. So I've got maybe another inch before that happens. Uh, and it's just stockinette back and forth right now. Not a ton really to talk about. This is Stranded Dye Works in the ice skating party, and I'm using the merino nylon base, which I think was Oasis at the time that I got it. And I've got the stitches for the back. I just put them on, because I'm using interchangeables, I just put them on a spare cable and put the little
Yeah. I
stopper
love that
things on.
trick. That's one of my favorite tricks.
So I think these are 5s. Yeah, 3.75 millimeter needles for me. I feel like I've been knitting this forever, but I'm really excited about getting close to the end of it so I can actually wear it.
Yay! I'm excited that you're getting to the close to the end of it as well.
Because she's sick of
Just
hearing about it.
no, I'm not sick of hearing about it. I know that you were at points putting it in timeout because it
Yeah.
wasn't moving as quickly as you wanted it to be moving.
Yeah, I mean it's stocking it in the round, and at my size, I'm a large busted and bodied person. So, like my bust measurement is around 50 for a full bust, and my hips are about a 50 or a 51 as well. So I love the drape of a fingering weight sweater, but it takes me twice as long as it takes, a conventionally thinner person to knit it, which is not a complaint. It's just an observation. So, yeah, I'm excited about this being done, and I love this color so much. So,
It's such a pretty color. I have a sweater's worth of that in the stash that someday it will become a sweater.
this is living in my Hide and Hammer. I think this is the number 2 bag or number 3 bag. Okay,
Three.
yeah, number 3 bag.
I'm pretty sure.
It's got the handle and the toggle tops. This is um, canvas, wax canvas. I really, really love this bag. This was given to me as a gift by Amy Florence
It was your Christmas present.
when we went to Scotland. So there's that.
I have one
Uh,
that says Empress of Stash Dash on the
Mine
handle.
has an expletive on the handle, which is perfection, but probably not fit for sharing with you guys. So, okay, well, I'm going to work on the toe. You have some finished stuff, right?
I do. Give me 20 minutes and that cowl will be finished. But I also have some other finished stuff and a yarn avalanche that's happening. So this is actually the second cowl. This is the first one that I was knitting on last week.
That really like gradiated out really pretty.
Yeah, I like this one. Do you want it? Because I have two.
Sure, I'll take it.
I'll send it to you. So, yeah, it's a nice, this is the one, the size that's closer to the face versus a longer size. This pattern does come in 4 sizes, 2 children's size and 2 adults. It is by Tin Can Knits. It's the undertone cowl. It's perfect for hand spun. And out of two, like 200 skein balls, like one in each color, I was able to get 2 cowls. So yeah, and this one also has somewhere right there a missing garter row.
It's that Laura signature.
Just in that one section. Yep. Just for one, just one row that's missing. But I'm using stitch markers and have them, it's a specific number of stitches repeated. And so I have stitch markers, so I don't really have to think, but
Yeah.
it's almost, you get going on autopilot. And then I have 2 finished hats. So I found some very, very old hand spun from my records. This was knit in or spun in 2008. Before I even had the ladybug, this was spun when I was renting a ladybug. So it has a lot of little squirrely bits, but it is perfect for the elven hat. For I'm putting these in my long range baby gift boxes. So I had around 200 yards of this hand spun, and this is the first one. This is a pattern by Woolly Wormhead. It is in her Wee Woolly Toppers book, which I really should pay her again for because I've probably knit like 75 like at least 75 hats out of that book. I would say over the years. Tubi is in that book. It's one of my all-time favorites. You'll see that in a week probably. Um, but this elven hat I had not knit before, and it is a simple ribs hat that's just super cute. So this is the 3 month size, and this is probably closer to a year. I did the 6 month cast on, but then I was busy talking to people on the internet, and I just added some length. And because it is rib and it's hand spun wool, and it's super stretchy, and I also did a twisted German cast on. I think that it will easily fit up to a year, which is
I'm,
great because I have some babies that were born this spring that I need to get presents to.
I feel like that would fit up to like teen. It
Let's see if it'll
stretched
fit my
quite a
head.
bit. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think it will. It's too small.
I don't know.
Almost. Not quite.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it'll fit up to like a teen.
I think it's super cute. So I'm probably going to knit some old hand spun in that pattern again. One of my best work friends has been trying to have a baby for a very long time, and they were able to, as a surprise, like they had kind of given up hope. She is 3 months pregnant. And so, yeah, it's super exciting.
It's
So she's
wonderful.
already requested, and she's very like knit worthy. I've knit
Hmm.
hats for her in the past, and she's posted pictures and thanked me very much. And she's just the sweetest person, and I'm so happy for her and her husband. So they don't know the gender of the baby, which doesn't matter because she'd be the type that would put
Yeah.
any color, and which makes her even better to knit for. So I'm just gonna knit all the baby hats and all the baby knits. So you'll be seeing a lot of Woolly Wormhead and a lot of tin can knits and probably some Milos. And I think this baby is gonna have a full-on wardrobe, kind of like Ollie did when he was born. I think I
Yeah.
sent back a ton of stuff. So I am super stoked about that. So I am not pregnant but I know I'll get that question because there will be a
Yeah.
lot of baby knits in the future. But I have some really good friends
I
who are
was like,
pregnant
that came
right
out
now.
of left field. Thank you for
No,
that
I mean,
weird
anytime we
clarification.
do anytime I do a lot of baby knits, I always have someone who asks.
Yeah.
So I am not.
Laura is
Uh.
embracing the social distancing wholeheartedly.
People are not allowed to come near me at all. I am working on my full-time hermit skills, and I'm loving it. I actually went out in my backyard and sat in it in the sun. Well, it was cloudy today under my umbrella, and there was a white cat on the back fence, and it was a cat. I checked to make sure it wasn't a possum. So Pearl was in love with trying to. It was on top of my trumpet vines, and
Yeah.
she has decided if she rips the trumpet vines out of the ground, that cat will fall. So she is very invested in like weeding the yard, and I'm totally on board with it. That cat's
Uh,
just up on top of that fence being like, whatever, dog.
yeah.
She pogo sticks too. It's very, very funny. But yeah, I think that's it for me for finished objects. I do have some spinning, but do you have any finished objects? I think you
I
do.
do have a finished object.
Yay!
So, through the magic of technology, I'm going to put in a picture here. Uh,
What?
this is a picture that Kobe took of me, so you know it's going to be good.
I cannot
Um,
wait.
out of 4 pictures, 3 of them were blurry, so this is the best one I got. But it is of Nuala, which is a pattern by Libby Johnson. It's a dolman sleeved uh, top knit out of cotton, or at least mine is knit out of cotton. And it's got these lace panels over on the top of the shoulders. And I did modify the bind off. So I added a
Look at
beaded bind
that.
off because the way that the pattern is written, it's just you bind off in stockinette, which will cause it to curl, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it would make me crazy. I would constantly be straightening it out. And I'd had luck with a beaded bind off before on my ethereal tanks, so
Which was out of lace weight.
it was out of lace weight. But this is like a worsted cotton weight. And so I used the bind off from Laura's My Hope shawl and did the same thing on this one. I used size 3O beads that I got from somewhere on Etsy. And yeah, it turned out nice. It's if I were if I could go back in time, I would probably add another like inch to the length just because the typically in the summer, and this is a summer top, I would wear like a tank underneath and then
Mm-hmm.
something lighter on top, something like this on top. And the tank shows out the bottom a little bit, which is fine. It's no
Can
big
you
deal.
just suck your tank into
I
your like
could, but
jeans or whatever? That's how I like wearing tanks so they don't roll up on me.
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm happy with it. I didn't have any problems with the pattern. Uh, my really only complaint is that you end up with a lot of ends after you do this strip because you have to join it in different places and all that. But it comes with the territory of this particular style of top. So
Yeah, because it was knit sideways for a bit, right?
yeah, the lace panels are knit sideways individually, and then you pick up on one side and then you pick up on the other, and then everything, and you join on under the arms. So it's just the way that it is with the construction. So yeah, I knit the second to largest size. I don't remember what that size is, but it's the second to largest. And if it's good, I the it is a cotton and it bled like the dickens when I soaked it. And I hadn't added anything. I hadn't added soak or any sort of soap at that point. I've just put it in some moderately warm, kind of on the side of cool water, and it went through like 3 sinkfuls of.
So because that's cotton, I don't think citric acid would help because cotton dyes are different than acid dyes.
I don't know. It finally stopped bleeding. So
I think you need something like Syntherpool or something. I'm just making up that
Synthropol,
word.
yeah,
Synthrobol? Yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
Um, yeah. So I mean, it'll be hand washed every time, so it's not a huge deal. I'd wash everything separately anyway, but
And it didn't like bleed on you while you were wearing it.
no, not at
So,
all.
yeah.
I didn't have any rub off on my hands. It was just once it hit water, it was just like like an indigo bat. It was just crazy. But yeah, it fits well. I'm happy. This is one more thing that will eventually go to SSK for the try it on room.
Yay.
And I do especially like the beads adding a weight at the bottom, because that also prevents me from having to constantly pull it down. So,
Yeah.
pro tip: if you have a larger belly and things tend to crawl up on you, that's a good way to keep them from doing that to some degree. So yeah, that's it. That's it
That's
for
a
me.
great tip. Do you have any spinning, friend?
I do not.
Why are you laughing at me? You can have
Because
spinning.
I mean, I think I've had spinning once this year,
I have some
maybe.
spinning. So this is the Sealy Court. It is Into the World Rambouillet. This is 4 ounces. Pre-wash, it was 685 yards, so I'm thinking that it's going to be around 600, because Rambouillet does like to poof a little bit.
Yes.
It was a 2-ply fractal, and I spun it on my Ladybug. It seemed to take forever, and now I know why. And I plied it on the mini spinner, and that also seemed to take forever, and now I know why. So it is going to be a good shawl yarn, I think. It is, I didn't add a ton of ply twist, so I think it'll be nice and open for any lace work that gets done, although it is pretty variegated. And it's just nice and squishy.
Yeah.
And it smells like wool, which always makes me happy. So that is the first thing that I've finished. The second thing that I finished was, let me think about which one's which. Okay, this one. I haven't tagged these yet because they're still damp.
Mm.
I put them out earlier today, but it's overcast. This is the second spin along for Jillian Marino. This one was Into the World Bits and Bobs, spun end to end, and then plied with half a braid of like very peachy green Eastery merino. Um, so I like the fact that it definitely like muted that peach, and it's less.
Offensive.
I don't like peach a whole lot.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, so yeah, it gives it kind of a beachy feel, but this was the third skein, and the Jillian Merino sample along too. It's around 150 yards, I believe. And then this one is around 140 yards, and both of these are around 3 ounces. So I have a whole like ounce and a half of, because my merino spinning was lighter than my uh, bits and bobs spinning. So I still have like over an ounce of that merino left to do something with, which I'll probably just spin more bits and bobs. But
Yeah.
this was bits and bobs that were marled, held together with that same braid.
Mm.
So it definitely like dulls it down quite a bit more. There's still a lot of blues and greens in here, but it definitely dulls it a little bit more with that marled. This is around 140 yards. And then what's on the wheel right now on my Ladybug? I have some Knit Spin Farm batlings from 2007, which I cannot believe. And this was when she was doing
It
her,
says 2017.
I'm sorry, 2017. That's what I meant.
Okay.
We didn't know Joanna back in
We did not.
2007.
No.
So November 2017 time. It's very fluid. So this is around 3 ounces of merino, Shetland, BFL, Blueface Leicester, and Southdown wool noil. So the little clumpy bits are the wool noil. And they came in a set of 6. There was a dark green with the black, a yellow with the black, and then this purple with the black. So the other half's still on the wheel, but this first half is done. So you guys will see those plied probably next time. Moving out some old stash, and that is it for me for spinning. Although I
That's a
have
lot
used
of
up a lot
finished
of
yarn
hand
this
spun.
week.
Yeah, it would not have been finished had, well, this one was finished last week. It was just still on the bobbin.
Hmm.
The other two would not have been finished in time for the podcast had we actually recorded the first time that we were going to record, but I had some more time on my hands. So I managed to get some more stuff done. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Anything else that I'm missing? What are you reading, friend?
So I'm still reading Eridon by Tove Ford. I've been reading that for a couple of weeks. It's like 1,000 pages. It's a long book. Um, and I started rereading last night The Orchid Throne, which is by Jeff Kennedy.
Yeah.
It's the first in a new series, and it came out, I think, earlier this year or late last year. Because her second book in that series is coming out next week. So I wanted to reread it so I could remember what was going on. And then I'm listening to The White Tower, which is a epic fantasy style. It's wizards and politics and that
Who's
sort of
that
thing.
by?
Michael
Michael
Weishart.
Heart. Okay, I feel like I've read that one,
Um,
but maybe not.
it was like on a bunch of best of lists. So Um, I had never read anything by this guy. Actually, I don't know if this is his first book or not. But I'm listening to that one. So, and it's read by Tim Gerard Reynolds. So I'll pretty much listen to anything Tim Gerard Reynolds will read. So, um, yeah, I just started that yesterday. So, what about you? What have you been reading?
I've been watching a lot of Death in Paradise, which is like a BBC murder mystery show, very similar to like an Agatha Christie feel. And I'm still re-listening to Lightning Struck Heart, and I'm not doing a ton of reading. I'm doing a ton of listening, but yeah, and watching and Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I've been
Animal
doing.
Crossing is taking up my reading time.
Yeah, I've been. I got the golden axe, but I haven't gotten anything
Oh,
else.
I've
Um,
not gotten a golden axe. How did
you
you get
get that
that?
after you break like 100 axes. So if you just get the flimsy axes, you'll go through them faster,
Oh,
and then you can get the golden axe. It's the easiest one to get.
I have the
Um,
golden watering can.
I don't have that yet.
So when you
I'm
get
like,
5 stars.
oh yeah, I don't have that one yet. But I'm close to getting the golden slingshot. You have to not get down 300 balloons for that. I'm like 40 away from that. So,
Wow.
um, but the golden shovel I'm never going to get. And you have to catch one of every bug to get the golden net and one of every fish to get the golden
Like during
fishing
that
rod.
season,
No,
or
period. You have to
oh
fill up the
yeah,
museum.
I will not get those anytime
So,
soon, I feel like.
yeah.
I had people over at my island and I caught one of the rare fish for the season, and then someone quietly left, like their device died or rebooted, and it when it restarted I lost everything.
Oh
The
no.
ahi ahi. And so then I caught over 75 fish off the end of my pier. Not a single one was that one.
Have you caught every loach and dace and what's the other one? Horse mackerel that has ever been spawned? Because I know I have.
I feel like I have, but some of those are just in the rivers and not off the end of piers. But I've
Yeah.
definitely done a lot of the large one in the ocean that you just get and it's worth like 200 bells, maybe 300 bells.
Oh,
I had a
the
ton of those.
bass or whatever.
Yeah, it's not the bass, but I don't know what it is. I don't pay that much attention. Did you do the stamp hunt yet?
Yeah.
I did that today.
It's a new one every day, but you can only win the prizes once, so I'm not doing them anymore.
I sent
Uh,
you your server.
you did. And it was so late last night. By the time I was finished with everything, Michael had already gone to bed, so I haven't had a chance to show him yet. But yeah, it's like a full server rack and everything. It's crazy.
It was in my store for 100,000 bells, and I was like, Leslie needs this for her house, just so it's like her real house.
I mean, that's true, but
I sent Nick a race car bed too. Becca's Nick.
oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Yeah, I had some good stuff in my store a couple days ago. Not so much right now. I have some thermal Henleys in my shop today, if you're interested.
Yesterday I had onesies and pacifiers,
That's
so
super cute. Lots
To
of
each
I have
their
the
own.
onesies. Yep. I had onesies in my shop yesterday too. I have princess gowns today, I think too. Oh,
I don't know if
and
I've been today.
whatchamacallit came yesterday, the Able sister who does like special items. Like if you help her out by getting the fashion one that stands outside the shop, and if
I
you help
don't.
her out, she gives you like special stuff.
I haven't
She
met that one yet.
Okay, she came and she's got her special line of shoes. And she gives you 2 tickets worth up to 3,000 bells of clothing in the shop.
Oh yeah, she hasn't. I guess my island's not like fancy enough yet, or whatever. So
Well, anyway, so that's our Animal Crossing update.
Animal Crossing is a game on the Nintendo Switch. If you've been lost for the past 10 minutes,
There you
uh, that we spend too much time playing.
go. Daily Instagram lives are still going on my Instagram account. I'm Lala Knits on there. You can find me if you friend me. Just make sure you have knitting or some kind of fiber arts and related things in your profile, or just send me a PM and say, "Hey, I'm a fiber artist," um, and I will allow you access to my feed. I'm trying to think what's going on there. Thursday, Gwen's coming on.
That's going to be awesome. So, like, we talk a lot of smack, but Gwen is freaking brilliant, and she knows so much about so many random things. She's a conservator at the Smithsonian in DC. Um, so she really is brilliant. I hope
Yeah.
that I actually have a chance to watch that one. So
Yep. And then Friday will be Amy. And then next week, Thursday will be Lou of Old Rusted Chair.
it's gonna be awesome too.
Yeah, I'm excited. And the following week, I'll have Rick of Whimsy Stitches. And I will fill that other space. I just wanted to figure out, once I send an email to someone saying, "Hey, do you want to be on?" I let them have first pick, and then I'll fill in the other days as I need to.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. That's about it. Stash Dash is starting the end of this
Yes.
week, Friday. And Leslie and I, right before this, recorded the video. The rules are already up on the board on Ravelry. So, yeah, all that's happening. And I think that's about it. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, we'll have Patreon dates sometime this week. I'll send information out to all of our patrons. Those of you who support us on Patreon, we sincerely thank you.
Yes.
But we will have our fail along sometime next week, and the VKN will be on Sunday, the 31st at 6 p.m. Central. The fail along, we don't have a date and time for yet, but we will shortly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Cool.
So if you are celebrating Memorial Day, we hope that you do that safely. And aside from that, we will talk to you next week.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.
y'all.